Hello and welcome back to Overthought Gaming. Today, instead of racing, I'm actually going to do something different. I'm actually going to start by buying a car and starting the process of relearning how to drift. That might seem like a little bit of an odd goal, but I used to do this in Forza 4 all the time, and after 4 got a little boring with no one to drift with, and then 5 I never got into. Horizon's for drifting. Sort of fun, sort of not. But it's now the hunt for the car. Now, it's most people think drift car from, well, especially on like the Forza, what I saw in 4, was all-wheel drive, make it turn like mad, and lots of grip. I was never that person. Always preferred the V8 and rear-wheel drive. Specifically American V8s. Love the American V8s. But right now, just looking to find a car that might be drift worthy. Sort of like that, as sick as that is. Drifting wagon. No. Also want it to be semi-cheap, but nah. Beamer? Yeah. It's, I'm not building this to many specs, I'm building this to the old tournament specs I used to see, which was 650 horse max. And I think S-Class? Yeah, something like that. Couldn't be above S or something. As I hit... Oh, okay, figures. Let's see here, BMWs. I could do a BMW, they're not exactly hard to get to drift. Formula's usually right. That one's got to be 12 though. Let's see here. No. What's the power on that? No, I want a little room to work with here. Chevy. Yeah, that'd be easy. Just make it drift. No. No. A little boring. Powerful, but no. I mean, I love the old muscle cars, but sometimes finding a drift one is hard. Maybe. Like the Impala I did back in 4. I did have a Chrysler I liked. No. Dodge, expensive. I could do a Ferrari. Yep, 5 so yeah. I want it to be a little cheaper than that. Ferrari's not gonna do it. No. Ford. Maybe Mustang. Keep going here. Let's see here. May or may not be 2 hours later at this point. Alright, and I'm back. I decided to actually go with something Japanese, though has an American name badge on it. The Lexus SC300. Figured it would be a decent start. Fairly cheap at 15,000 credits. And doesn't look too bad. I think it's got 1 or 2 body kits I can put on, but I like the stock look. So, let's see here. Let's go to, let me get out of that mode. Yeah, I'm still not the best here. So let's get into the upgrade shop here. Things I know I'm probably going to want are going to be not motor yet. So let's start with the suspension. Always good parts. Let's see here. And I'm going to want those. Definitely the race suspension. Let's see here. Yeah, all the roll bars. But yeah, the main reason I came to the conclusion of this car is it was decent. And I've used it in the past. It's just long enough to make me feel good. It's not quite a muscle car, but I can make it work. Alright, full weight here. 3,000 pounds. Let's see, I'm gonna get the full. This thing should be about 3,000 pounds when it's said and done, so we will see. So I'm just going through here, picking every part possible. This may not get up to the power I want it. Alright, and tires. Some say stock. I like going up one to street. On this, like, it makes a noticeable tire difference. Sports usually tend to have just a little too much traction. Then I like going all the way on my tire widths. Some people like to go super skinny fronts and all the way rears, and vice versa. I like doing it so they're fairly equal. Muscle cars were really my only exception to that rule. Rims. Drifters tend to go for good looks, but I'm also weight conscious. And I have fallen in love with these Wed Sports TC 105Ns. Love the way they look. Just simple 10.5 star. And let's see here. I am going to go with an 18-inch rim to start. 17s look good though. We'll start 17s. If I need more, I'll do more on it. Okay. Never thought I'd go through. Okay, let's see what we got here for body. Ooh, okay, so we got that. That. Or that. I like the clean look of that one. Rear wing. Don't really need one. Was there a wing? Sure, now I'll just put on just in case there was a wing. Alright, rear bumper. I'm gonna just go to the full Origin body kit. Just looks clean. And I like a clean looking car. And this is mostly for show, it's got no real effect here. So now it comes to motor. This thing's got decent little motor in its stock. I forget if it's a 4 or 6 cylinder. Let's see what we got here. I tend to like... So 2.6 liter... inline 6. It sounds like it's out of the BMW or the Skyline. Let's see, I'll know here and just... Oh no, not that wrong button. I keep hitting Y to look at the... to change the telemetry on the side, and it's up, down in this menu, and Y in another. That might be out of BMW, or of an early Nissan. No, Toyota. That almost looks like Supra. Or the 5.7 Racing V8. Let's see what we can get on the stock motor. Turbos, twin turbos. Oh, we was trying the stock motor. Alright, things I do like are definitely air exhaust. Mostly try and make it light as possible. Then I tend to go for lightness anymore, not strict power. Oh, okay, this thing's going to be a lightweight. Alright. Now, I wish I knew what size this engine started. 365, alright. 437, that's not bad. Now, I know it's going to be a little counterintuitive here to do this, but I don't add too much turbo. Don't like that. Same power, but lighter. I'm a fan of twin turbos when drifting, so... Man, there aren't too many back buttons. And no idea what's going on there. That's fully built. I just want to see what this thing sounds like. Just going to one of my favorite test tracks here real quick. Come on, load. I don't have too much rhyme or reason why I did It's, yeah, I could put on, the big turbos and try and make it drift, but then you get turbo lag, and I don't want turbo lag while drifting, especially if I'm trying to keep it balanced. So twin turbos are my preferred for drifting, if I have to turbo. Let's see here. Actually, it feels like that might have plenty of torque down there. Alright, I'll be back after tuning this. I have some general settings to put on, but that feels good. So I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. I decided to go with the Circuit of the Americas just because it had a nice set of just sort of varying degree corners I could try around and try and get a good chain going. Maybe being a little ambitious, being the first time back with a car I'm not 100% familiar with. But I figured I would give it a go here. First couple tests are like seem plausible, but I'm a little off on the gearing. This car has Mike's fourth gear I've ended up finding as I spin out. But fourth with this time was just a little too long and third was just a little too short. Compromises will be made as I go along here. It's nothing too major. Can't say it was bad. It was just sort of the first go on it. Long sweeper and again back around and around. So it's sort of one of those, okay, what's going on here? I know this is a new car. I know it's a track I'm not proficient with to the same degree as I am with others. Here's a lot of my favorite drift tracks: Sunset Peninsula, the Suzuka Circuit, and Tsukuba. All those have been removed. Sunset Peninsula I really hate because I love the short track for testing. It was a great flat, very flat place to chuck cars around and get them tuned, see how they did it. Get the gears right, because it had a tight corner and then a long corner. And that made such a huge difference in being able to tune as I completely botched that corner. Attempt to get the next one's not quite working yet. Back end's going, but still too stable, and curb and bounce. Yeah, English. I was finding that the curbs here were a bit evil. A little more so than I liked, especially since I tend to drift like I race. So yeah, it's still a little fishy. Things I were taking note of was may felt like I had a little bit too much camber on the back. And that's just me turning that right down now. Roll bars, those were questionable. I was just trying some general settings I'd used before in Forza 4, hoping they worked. Rear dampening, that was an odd one. Because it's normally I didn't have to go too stiff, but I never had to go too soft either. And with the difference between Forza 4 and Forza 5's tuning, makes a huge difference. So yeah, right there with the bump, I decided to go with my standard race of 10, 10.2, and then 2.5 and 2.0, just to see if it would work. Pretty sure those are the ones I did. It's either that or 9.8 on the rebound. But yeah, just tune it, give it a shot. Definitely helps stabilize the car. But you now notice the car is real stiff. I mean, I can feel it was a real stiff ride in this thing. And yeah, just around the corner a little bit. Not really drift, just turn around, but yeah, it was real stiff. And I need a little bit looser car to drift, and I'm playing this with the gear ratios again just to see if I can get them to work. But yeah, this is the time I'm starting to get the gears tuned in. It's one. Seems like this car won more of an acceleration base rear end, with gears that maybe just a little closer together. But also this track, I was noticing that I didn't quite have the power. The 400 some odd horsepower that's in this was really good for a tighter track like Tsukuba would be. On a track like this where it's more wide open corners, I definitely needed more power. So that does get addressed with this car, though probably not as fast as I'd like. Other things I did notice over time were the tires. The sidewall was too tall, so I ended up going up another inch in rim size on these, which really helped, along with getting the dampening caster and toe tuned in. This thing never really got good on it got decent on this track. Helped me figure out what's changed and telling me to avoid the curbs. But yeah, it's just a lot of rinse and repeat, a lot of back and forth and forth and back and forth. So, yeah, a little bit up in the rim size. Nothing too major. But it was feeling decent, but it was feeling okay by the time I left here. I didn't quite know if it was me or the car. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching Overthought Gaming. I'll catch you on the next one as we continue to get this car dialed in, and we work towards going to a new track. So see you then.